Hello everybody and welcome back to the Bayonetta 2 walkthrough. It's time to continue on with Chapter 1. So, having gotten Crow Within and Bat Within, basically, if you want to get that Umber and Tears of Blood from earlier, then yeah, you kind of have to beat the chapter and then exit and go back into the chapter, which is really annoying. Now, I would do that, but to be perfectly honest, I'd rather wait until after Chapter 5, when we will then be able to get 2 heart pieces, because there was one that I forgot to mention when we were in the area where it was. Which is really embarrassing, but it's the one that I can never remember it's actually there. Now, as I believe we are going to reach a point where there's even more hidden verses, like, as I said at the end of the last part, I think, this chapter is really long. It's arguably one of the longest chapters in the game if you try and do all of the optional verses. It's insane. Like, I have absolutely no idea quite how or why this chapter is as long as it is. Because, I mean, in the original Bayonetta, while most of the chapters were maybe about half an hour to an hour long, like, they didn't get ridiculously long until around Chapter 5, which was the longest and also arguably the hardest full chapter in the entire game. Excluding Chapter 15. Whereas here, the timings for all the chapters is really, really bizarre. But also we've got another wonderful hidden Umbran resting place to get. This one's not that bad in the grand scheme of things, which is decent. But Crow Within is a godsend for you. Now, as we go and collect our prize, I will also point out that there is a Muspelheim just there, which we will be going into as soon as we've gotten the resting place, and then we can move on with plot. So, whilst we are kind of just going through all of that, I'll just cover some more voice actors, because we've heard a lot. I've just not had the time to cover them, because a lot's been going on. Although, I will point out, collect full broken witch hearts, you get a full witch heart, and that increases your health. It's basically Zelda. So, just use that as your working point. So, we had Enzo, who is hilarious, and while he was voiced by Chick Venera in the original Bayonetta, he has since retired from acting, and so they had to get a new voice actor in for Enzo, and that is John Casilla, who first voiced Enzo in the Bayonetta Bloody Fate anime, which I will probably talk about later on. But he's most well known as the Crypt Keeper in HBO's Tales from the Crypt. He's also Ralph in the off-Broadway show Reef of Madness and its film adaptation. He's done the voice of Buster Bunny, Jim Kim in Detention, Ray Raymundo Rocket in Rocket's Power. He's the voice of Miko in Pocahontas, so the raccoon. He's also Deadpool in X-Men Legends 2, Rise of the Apocalypse and Marvel Ultimate Alliance, as well as Rizzo in Skylanders Spyro's Adventure, and Ghost Roaster in Skylanders Giants. And he's also in Jack and the Giant Slayer, where he is Fallon, the two-headed leader of the Giants, and he's the small head in that. Apparently he's also featured in the very first commercial for The Legend of Zelda, which is hilarious. And before I go any further, we are about to go into plot. So, I won't even begin to start talking about other voice actors now, because I ain't gonna have time. Now, one thing I will say about Crow Within, which is annoying, is that because you jump into the air and double tap dodge to go into it, sometimes you can accidentally activate Crow Within when you don't want to, and thereby essentially fail to get your witch time when you wanted it. It's frustrating, but I guess it's something that I'll have to think about to sort out if ever Bayonetta 3 happens. And I hope it does, but I understand if that doesn't happen.
These punches don't know when to quit. What I ever do to them? Shite. I'm never going to reach Fimbulventer at this rate. Well, at least it won't be a boring trip. Huh? You can see me.
You're putting on quite a show, little magician.
Oh, you like that, huh? Wait till you see the climax. Silly girl.
You'll have to do better than that to earn a tip, my dear.
Who the hell are you?
I'm just an innocent little girl lost in Wonderland, suffering at the hands of the Queen's trumped-up troops.
Hit one, huh? Enough riddles. How can you see me?
Because we're both in Purgatorio, you see.
Purgatorio?
So, are we heading to Fimbulventer on a shopping trip for Mummy, little one?
Maybe. But she told me never to talk to strangers. Stay out of my way or I'll make sure you never get in it again.
Ooh, scary. Off with their heads, eh?
Damn it. They must have heard me.
And so, after meeting the mysterious youth, we get to fight Accolades, which we've already fought, it's just they only now get a name. It's something that's slightly frustrating with Bayonetta 2, is that in the original Bayonetta, each enemy was introduced by name when they first appeared. Every single time. Apart from with Gracious and Glorious, which were there as sort of a dick move surprise. However, here, like, we've already faced an Accolade before. It's just, well, we've faced multiple of them already. But they're only now getting a name, which is frustrating, to say the least. Either way, the music that we had there in the cutscene was The mysterious youth appears. It's got the character's name, but I don't think it's been revealed to us just yet. And then we had talking with A and talking with B. And I should also point out that the music for the chapter is STO3 Noatun the Cascade Foregrounds, I think. Now, the mysterious youth is voiced by Mark Doherty. Or however you pronounce that. He's not been in a whole lot, but he's most well known for being, I believe it's Chester Summers in The Secret Lives of Dorks. And that's probably about it. He's been in other stuff, but I don't think he's been in anything in a huge role.
You need to learn how to talk to a lady. Ask your mum.
But he seems to be kind of getting more work now than before.
Good reason to visit. You know, I'm all about them Angelic Hymns Gold LP.
And also, we just picked up an Angelic Hymns Gold LP, which allows us to get a new weapon.
I play that back home, and the demons will be lined up to get down. Lucky for me, I got a few jams of my own cooking that'll need a little demon kick to finish them off. That LP is just what the doctor ordered. Now hand it over, and I'll go get my swerve on.
So, I believe this music is Entrance of the Gladiators, which is by Julius Fusik, I think. Basically, sort of, the gold LPs have classical music associated with them. It's really cool. But we get the Raksha Blades, which are the sword for this game. It's distinctly different to Sharaba, which was the sword from the last game, in the sense that it is two swords, and also that you can actually attach them to your feet. I mean, the main thing that is really cool about the weapons in Bayonetta 2 is that there's a much greater variety of weapons. And also, the majority of them do have their uses, and if you're good enough, you can do some pretty amazing stuff. But, either way, as you can see, we've got another lovely journal fragment coming up, but then we get a pretty damn cool fight, so... Relics. Noatun is full of ruins and strange sculptures worn down by time. Most of them have long since fallen to pieces, yet these ruins are still said to have a strange connection with the god of chaos. For example, that ramp-looking object in front of the city's church is said to be a hidden path that once led to the god's home. Or so I was told from some old guy who walked by as I was looking at the ramp. He said those chosen would use it to be able to walk on walls. Not the most reliable source, but I'll take it. He must have been able to tell I was from out of town, seeing how intently I was staring at things. Maybe this used to be able to control gravity. If I only knew I knew a descendant of these chosen ones, I'd love to ask them about it. And at this point I was just like, am I missing one? I got rather concerned, let's put it that way. Because it was just like, oh my god, I missed a journal echo. That's completely screwed me over. I'm going to have to record the entire thing all over again. This is the worst thing ever. I haven't actually missed anything. It's just that one, for some bizarre reason, doesn't turn up just yet. It's weird. But the Rakshasa, which is what the blades are called, are demons from Hindu myth, whose existence are recorded in the epics Ramayana and the Mahabharata. Basically, they're born from the breath of the Deva Brahma, and were born of such bloodlust that they began to eat him, and were cast out onto the earthly realm by Vishnu upon his panic. And they soon became renowned for their powers over sorcery, shape-shifting, illusion, and became mighty warriors, and were infamous for their man-eating, and all sorts. So, rather violent demons. But here we have an enemy that we've seen in the end. But this is the first time we get to face him otherwise.
If you're looking for the kid, he went that way.
And so, here we have Valiance.
I'm afraid I don't have time to dance too long. A friend is waiting for me.
Now, I'm not too big of a fan of Valiance as an enemy, because he's just a bit too big as a normal enemy to be able to see exactly what he's doing. So it's very easy to get kind of attacked from not quite realising where with him. But I do really like the design. It's really cool, and I think that Valiance might actually be a design that Yusuke Hashimoto had from the beginning of original Bayonetta stuff. Yeah, in the Eyes of Bayonetta art book, you can see the original artwork for Valiant. And it was intended to be used in the first game, but it had to be cut due to limited resources. And apparently it's one of Hashimoto's favourite designs, so it's really cool that it got to be brought back for this. And also, something that's really awesome is that Valiance's sword is called the Valiantium Blade, which you may recognise as Wonder Blue's weapon in Bayonetta 2. In Bayonetta 2? In the Wonderful 101. And in the Hierarchy of Laguna, which is basically a massive book of all of the angels in the game, you have it's basically a massive stonking reference to the Wonderful 101 there, which just makes me so happy. I mean, as I said, there are a ridiculous number of references in Bayonetta 2, and, like, my god, they are beautiful. But before we go down and see what the hell's going on, because, I mean, you could hear the mysterious youth talking, it's time for us to complete a Muspelheim. It's not particularly challenging because it's just a don't get hit, which, particularly with these enemies, is not a grand challenge, I have to say. There's some enemies later on when there's don't get hits, and they're ridiculous. But these guys, nah. They ain't got nothing. But that's another Muspelheim complete, another Broken Witch Heart, and Pure Platinum, yes! It's time for us to go and finish off Chapter 1. Let's go!